Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the exciting, fascinating, awesome Lesson 20 Exit Ticket Review. I know you're so excited to be looking at how your fellow geniuses solve some of these problems. They're actually quite awesome. So let's get in and let me show you what they did. So the very first one was some problem set work. And I want to share Maddie's here today. And Maddie has 9 models or 9 tape diagrams. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then she also had this last one that represented a half of it, or a half a pint. And what she knew is that 2 pints equal 1 quart. So that then 1 pint must equal a half of a quart. And I think that is very valuable information. And what she did is she labeled it a half and a half. And together they made, and she showed it here, 1 quart. These two together made 1 quart. These two models made 1 quart. These two made 1 quart as well. And then she's left with this half a quart here. And she knows that she needed to actually take half of this other model, right? Because really she only needs half of it up here in the original problem. Right? So half of a half is really 1/4, and she labeled 1/4. So she has a half plus 1/4, right? And she came up with 3/4, right? Making this an equivalent fraction, right, of 2/4. So if I wrote it again, it's 2/4 plus 1/4, giving us 3/4. Right? So this bottom 2 tape diagrams give us 3/4, and she has 1, 2, 3, 4 quarts. So giving us 4 quarts with the 3/4 left over. Right? Excellent work there, Maddie. Our other fellow genius that I'd like to share here did it a little different, and this is Dominic. Right? And as some of you tried to do it the same way as Dominic did, where you do some dividing right from the start. Right? Because he knew that in order to do the work, it's really going to be half of it. Right? So your 1 pint, just as we did with Maddie, is going to be a half of a quart. So he did everything in half. So we divided by 2, as many of you did as well. And he came up with 4.5. Okay? Now, what we need to do at that point is see what is left over that you have to take and cut in half. So he subtracted the 9.5, the original, right, minus the 8. And you're thinking, well, where did he get this 8? He got this 8 going 4 times 2. A little out of the ordinary, but certainly works to figure out that really he used 8 of the 9.5 pints. Okay, so when you subtract it, he's left with the 1 1/2 pints left over that he needs to cut in half. So he cut those in half and divided it by 2. And he did it mentally, it looks like, from his work here. 1 1/2 divided by 2 is giving him 3/4. And adding that to his original 4 quarts, or 8 pints that he has here, to give us a grand total of 4 3/4 quarts. What I also really liked about his, and I haven't seen it very often through our online work, is that he checked his work. Dominic, I love that you did that, and it does check to the original problem of 9 1/2 pints. So excellent work, Dominic. And 2 wonderful examples to share with you with the problem set. If you have any questions about it, you can reach out to Dominic or to Maddie. You can also reach out to me through those private comments as well. Now, as we move on to the homework portion that you did with Mr. H, I have Emerson's work that I'd like to share with you. And I really liked hers. not only is it really nice and neat, but she included over here the conversion, 60 minutes equals 1 hour, and then showed her conversion here from taking 4 3/10 times 1 hour and turning it into 60 minutes. She then took her 4 3/10 and turned it into 43/10. Now, how did she get that? Well, my work here is going to demonstrate her thinking. Right? If there's 4 holes, you really have 10/10 and another 10/10 and another 10/10 and a final fourth or 4 10/10 to give you 40 of them. And she didn't forget this other 3 right there. So that gives us 43, or gives her 43 times 60 divided by 10. And then she took it even a step further using some of the strategies we've talked about in class before closure. Say, if you can divide, that makes things a little bit easier. So she took 60 right here, divided by 10, and she said, well, I know that. It gives us 6, and she has that 6 right there. Right? And then she multiplied 43 times 6 to give us our 258 minutes. Outstanding job, Emerson. Looks great. Our other genius did something very similar. Right, as I scroll down here, okay, this one is from Brandon Owens. Right? He did very similar to the work that I demonstrate in the videos, even by putting even in the simple arrow here, that 4 holes is 40/10, and we have the 3/10 left over right here to give us 43/10, and just as Emerson did above. He then wrote his expression to 1 hour, and he knew, there's his conversion, that he added in, that he's multiplied by 60, and he did the same thing, which I thought was excellent. He divided the 60 divided by 10, and to get that 6, and just multiplied 43 times 6. What a fantastic job that he did as well. If you are someone who did not find the 60 divided by 10 and you just went ahead and multiplied it straight across, that would still work. You just have to remember to divide at the end. You're still going to get the 258 minutes as well. All right? So overall, great job with those exit tickets. All right? Please make sure, though, that when you're uploading those pictures, and you're uploading one basically every day. So if you hit the done button and you haven't uploaded a picture, right, that's a little clue thinking, can't forget it. Right? Another note on that, on top of that, right, please make sure that your picture is clear and you have the right one. Over the last couple days, we're getting a lot of geniuses giving me exit tickets from 18 and 17 and 16 lessons. So please make sure that you are aware of what photo you are sending or uploading, and make sure it's clear so I can see it too. Okay? Some students have been really proactive and even went before they upload it and they're saving it. They're typing in that this is lesson 20 or this is lesson 20 problem set. So do that as well so that when you do upload it, you can see it right up in your files and know exactly which one to do. Right? So with that, I hope that you have a fantastic day, and feel free to reach out to your fellow geniuses of Owen, Brandon, Emerson. We had Maddie, and who else was our other one here? There was one other. Now I can't think of who that is. I'm going to have to minimize this. I'm going to go back up to the previous screen. Oh, wrong one. Emerson and Maddie, got that one. Dominic, I'm so sorry I forgot you there. Okay, so reach out to me if you have any questions. Okay, you guys are the best. Okay? You truly are. Miss you guys a lot.